intriguing, exciting, full of goals and ups and downs. That's how we describe yesterday's performance in UEFA Champions League, where we saw Borussia Dortmund, defeating Atletico Madrid by 4 goals to 2, overturning the Atletico Madrid's first leg advantage. And also we saw FC Barcelona losing out by 4 goals to 1 to Paris Saint-Germain in Camp Nou. Okay, we saw Araujo picking up a very early red card on that match, thereby deciding the fate of the match, gifting the match to Paris Saint-Germain on that occasion. So this is football; it does happen, and it can happen. One stupid decision could just change the entire game. Okay, that's it. That's a sorry situation for Barcelona. They're out of UEFA Champions League, as well as Atletico Madrid also. And today we have the second leg of the other games in UEFA Champions League coming up, where Manchester City will be welcoming Real Madrid, as well as Bayern Munich welcoming Arsenal FC to Germany. So it's going to be a very exciting encounter. It's also going to be very, very intriguing one, just as we witnessed yesterday. Okay. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Betkraft, your home of sure bet football analysis and predictions. And today we are starting with the Champions League games, and the two Champions League games that we have, which promises to be very, very, very exciting one. But before we head on, I want to urge those of us who are yet to subscribe to our channel to please take our time to click the subscription button down there, so that you do not miss out on our subsequent games that comes on this very channel every day. And yesterday we did very well, and we saw how most of our predictions, were very, very, very accurate. Pending FC Barcelona, who lost out to Paris Saint-Germain on that occasion. This is football. This happened as a result of the red card that was, given very early in that match. Okay. Does happen, that's football. But apart from that, most of the predictions, 6 out of 8, were very, very, very successful. So kudos to those of us who won, and today we'll go again. So today we're starting with the very first match in the UEFA Champions League game. It is Bayern Munich who comes against Arsenal FC. Okay, and as usual, we all know that we take a look at how both teams are fared, and also how they're fared and who's in the counter. And from there, we make our verdict on this very game. So we'll see that for the home side, Bayern Munich, we'll see that in the past 20 they have managed 11 wins, as well as 3 draws and 6 losses. And their away side, if Arsenal FC have seen 12 wins in 20, and they've had 3 draws and 5 losses in the past 20 games they've had. And when you take a look at how both teams have fared in recent encounters, we will see that in the past 5 for the home side, Bayern Munich, they have won 2, had 2 losses and 1 draw. Okay, and the away side Arsenal also had 1 loss. We saw them losing against Aston Villa in the weekend, and we also saw them having 2 wins out of 5, as well as 2 draws out of 5. One of those draws which happened in the UEFA Champions League in the first leg of this very encounter. Okay, and also what you have noted is the fact that these two teams, once they meet, they produce a lot of goals, and each time they're playing in Germany. We saw that the last time they played in Germany, in Allianz Arena, we saw Bayern Munich defeating Arsenal by 5 goals to 0, and the previous that was in 2017. Also, the other one before that very encounter also saw them beating Arsenal also by 5 goals to 0. It goes to show that each time they're playing in Germany, the tie always produce a lot of goals, and in this very encounter we are going to focus on goals. We expect to see a lot of goals, firecrackers in this very game. So we expect at least 3 goals in this very encounter. So it is over 2.5. That's our expectation for this very match. Over 2.5. That's our verdict. And that takes us to the next game, which also is the second game of the Champions League game. And we saw Manchester City, who will be coming up against Real Madrid in England. And we know that in the past 24, Man City they have been able to win 16. They've had 4 draws, and they have not lost any in the past 20 games they've had. And also Madrid, in the other hand, in the other game, have seen 14 wins, as well as 5 draws and just 1 loss in the past 20 games they've had. And when you look at how those two teams have fared in the recent past 5 games, you could see that Man City, on the other hand, have seen 3 wins and 2 draws in the past 5 encounters. And Real Madrid, on the other hand, also have seen 4 wins as well as 1 draw in the past 5 encounters they've had. And also, the last time those two teams met, which was the first leg of this very, quarterfinal tie, we saw both teams playing out a draw, 3-all draw on that occasion. So we saw both teams scoring a lot of goals in this very encounter. There has to be goals because both teams are scoring, and you know both teams as well are conceding. All right. So in this very encounter, we chose go. Both teams are going to score. So it is both teams to score in this very encounter. That's our verdict for that very game, and that takes us to the next game. And that next game is in Scotland Premier League, where we have Dundee who will be coming up against Rangers, who's ranked second at the moment. And when you take a look at how both teams have fared in the past 20, you could see that for the home side today, they've had 6 wins, they've had 5 losses, 5 draws, and as well as 9 losses in the past 20 games I've had. And the away side, Rangers, have seen 13 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses in the past 20 games I've had so far. Anyway, look at how both teams have fared from the recent encounters. We'll see that in the past 5 encounters for the home side, Dundee have managed 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And also, Rangers have seen 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. Okay, we saw Rangers losing out in the weekend, but thereby losing grounds to Celtic in the weekend by losing by 3 goals to 2 to Ross County. And in this very encounter, we know that they're going to try to make amends for those losses to keep up the pressure on Celtic FC. And we also want to look at how both teams are fared in the head-to-head proceedings. We'll see that in the past, the past 8 head-to-head meetings, have seen Rangers defeating this side each time. 8/8. Rangers winning all the time. So they definitely want to keep up the trend, and we expect to see them coming out victors in this very encounter. It is our side Rangers FC to pick up the sports in this very encounter. That's our verdict, and that takes us to the next game. And the next game happen to be in Portugal, where we have Porto FC who will be coming up against Victoria Guimarães. Okay, this is a Portuguese cup, and also we see that in the past 24, the home side FC Porto, they have had 12 wins as well as 4 draws and 4 losses, and the away side, Victoria Guimarães, who has managed 12 wins as well. They've seen 5 draws and also 3 losses in the past 20 games I've had. And when you look at the recent results, run on 4 for both sides, we'll see that in the past 5, Porto have had 2 wins, 2 losses, as well as 1 draw, and their away side, Victoria Guimarães, have seen 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Okay, that loss coming up against Porto FC in the first leg of this very cup tie. We saw FC Porto defeating Guimarães by 1-0. And in this very encounter, we'll also take a look at how both sides have met how both sides have fared in the head-to-head encounters. We'll see that the last time both teams met, which happened to be, we have Guimarães defeating FC Porto by 2-1, and also the rest other 7 head-to-head meeting also FC Porto, being taken, winning the side on 7 occasions, okay, and they lost just 1 against Victoria Guimarães. But in this occasion, putting all that together, we know that FC Porto is a very good side in a Portuguese league, and we expect them to live up to expectation in this very encounter. We expect a home win in this very game. FC Porto to win. That's our verdict in this very encounter, and that takes us to the next game. It is in Norway, where we have Brann, who will be coming up against HamKam. Okay, when you take a look at the 20 past results for both sides, you will see that the home side have managed 14 wins as well as 3 draws and 3 losses. Okay, and the away side, HamKam, have seen 8 wins, 4 draws, and also 8 losses in the past 20 games I've had. And when you take a look at how they fared recently, in the recent run of form, have seen Brann winning 3 games out of 5, and they have as well seen 1 loss as well as 1 draw in the past 5 games I've had so far. And the away side, HamKam, in the past 5 have managed 2 wins as well as 2 losses and 1 draw in the past 5 games I've played so far. And also taking a look at the head-to-head, the recent head-to-head both sides, last year saw Brann defeating HamKam on both home and away last year. And those are the 2 head-to-head that I have for you in this very game. So it is Brann who is expected to also keep up the trend by winning this encounter outrightly. It is home side Brann to win. That's our verdict for that very encounter. And that takes us to the next game, which also is in Norwegian League, where we'll have Molde, who will be coming up against the odds BK. And also in the past 20 for Molde, they've had 14 wins as well as 3 draws and just 3 losses in the past 20 games of had so far. And when you look at their way side, odds BK, they've had 7 wins, 3 draws and 10 losses in the past 20 games of had. And in the recent past for both sides, we'll see that Molde have won the entire 5 games I've played on recent occasions, and the way side odds BK have had just 2 wins, and also 2 losses and 1 draw in the past 5 games I've had so far. And when you take a look at how both teams have fared on head-to-head proceedings, have seen Molde defeating this side on 6 occasions out of 8, as well as BK having the upper hand only on 2 occasions out of 8. So it is, and the last time they met also saw Molde beating the side by 4-0. And in this very encounter, we expect Molde pushes the home side, to pick up the sports in this very game. It is home side to win. That's our party for that very encounter. And that takes us to the next game that we have. The next game happened to be in England National League, where we'll have Gateshead who will be coming up against Aldershot. And Gateshead, also in the past 24, Gateshead have seen them win 13 times out of 20, as well as 2 draws and 5 losses in the past 20 games of head. And Wayside Aldershot have also managed 7 wins, as well as 4 draws, 9 losses in the past 20 games I've had. And when you take a look at how they are fared in recent encounters, we could say that in the past 5 for the home side, Gateshead have managed 3 wins as well as 2 losses in the past 5 games I've had. And away side, in the past 5 games have managed just 2 draws as well as 3 losses in the past 5 games I've had. And also taking a look at how both teams have fared in the head-to-head proceedings, I've seen in the past 8 head-to-head, I've seen Gateshead winning on 3 occasions, and also Aldershot winning on 3 occasions, and then the other 2 being a draw. But judging by the recent run of form for both sides, we would know that the home side Gateshead is quite more fancy to pick up the sports, because they are actually doing well, and they are definitely going to win in this very encounter. It is the home side that's expected to pick up the sports home win. That's our verdict in that very game. And that takes us to the last game of the day, which happened to be in Croatia, where we have Dynamo Zagreb, who will be coming up against NK Varazin in Croatian League, and the home side Dynamo Zagreb, who already have who's ranked 2nd in the league, managed 15 wins out of 20. They've had 3 draws as well as 2 losses in the past 20 games of head. And the way side, Varazin have seen just 5 wins, 6 draws and 9 losses in the past 20 games of head. And when you take a look at the past 5, the recent 5 for both sides, we'll see that Dynamo Zagreb, the home side, have won 5 games out of 5 in the past 5 games, showing that they're quite in very good form, winning 3 away games and also 2 home games in the 5 games they've played. So they are actually a team in fine form at the moment. And their away side, on the other hand, have managed 2 wins as well as 2 losses and 1 draw in the past 5 games they've had so far. So it is the home side Dynamo Zagreb who have the upper hand in the head-to-head encounter, seeing that they also won 5 times out of 8, and there's never been a time out of those last 8 meetings where Varazin had a good result against Dynamo Zagreb. It has always been the Dynamo Zagreb who always picks up the sports in this very encounter. It is home win that's valid for that very game. Okay, home win, that's a party. And that concludes our predictions on Betkraft today. Okay, I wish you the very best of luck, and also remember to always play with what you can afford to lose. Do not put the entire fortune in bet in this football game. Anything can happen, and it can go either way as well. So that being said, all right, tomorrow is another day, and we're also going to have Europa League and also Europa Conference League, coming up tomorrow and next. So on that note, we conclude, and I hope to see you tomorrow. But until then, keep winning.